Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our BBR Week 1 battle against MattOshea and the Montreal Milotics. And before we get into this one, make sure to go and check out my opponent, his link will be down below, as well as all the other coaches in the BBR for this season. But without wasting any more time, first up you can see the matchup. Our team, if you missed the draft analysis, is Keldeo, Weavile, Skarmory, Goodra, Palossand, Centiskorch, Comfey, Executor, Luxray, and Lycanroc Midnight. And his team is Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Mamoswine, Cinderace, Copperajah, Durant, Gardevoir, Roserade, Vikavolt, Haunter, and Vullaby. So getting into this one, first up we have got our Weavile, who is choice banded, and I'm not gonna lie, Weavile's matchup is kind of bad, except for the fact that if he brings Roserade, it's most likely going to be a check to Keldeo. And if I can bring in my Weavile on the Roserade, then I get the freest knockoff. I can click Triple Axle on something. I can click Low Kick if I expect the Copperajah or the Mamoswine to come in. And we do get a lot of damage off on something. Choice Band obviously allowing us to do as much damage as possible. Ice Shard obviously there for priority. He has got a couple of things that could potentially be a problem, especially if Scarfed, like Gardevoir. Also, if he has webs, that's kind of annoying for my team. And unfortunately, the Ice Shard really doesn't hit a whole lot on his team, but it's always nice to have the priority, just in case we're in a situation where something's living on like 1 or 2 HP and we can just pick something off. Next up, we have got... Oh, my bad. I am not used to using this. We've got Keldeo with Surf, Flip Turn, Aura Sphere, and Air Slash. Running relatively bulky, modest. It's still got enough speed, I believe, to outspeed his Urshifu if it is adamant. So my thought process is that there's a strong chance that he's going to run adamant, because it does actually outspeed my Lycanroc. And if we can get any kind of advantage on bulk against that thing, then it'll be great, because it's actually really difficult for him to one-shot me unless I think he is adamant choice band close combat. I think that has a chance, but I think with my EVs it doesn't. Obviously running the Air Slash to hit that as hard as possible. Aura Sphere is pretty spammable against his team. Once the Urshifu, not even the Urshifu, once the Gardevoir has gone down, Roserade can come in and check it, and Vikavolt as well can take an Aura Sphere just fine. Nothing else on his team really wants to take it. Of course, Haunter will take it just fine, but if the Haunter's there, we're not clicking it. We're going to click Flip Turn. And to be honest, we're clicking Flip Turn 90% of the time. Until his checks to Aura Sphere or to Surf have gone, then it's kind of just free. Choice Scarf, Surf, hit everything on his team barring the Roserade for at least neutral damage, and the Urshifu of course, but yeah, we have our way of dealing, or I put in quotation marks, dealing with Urshifu later on. But Choice Scarf Keldeo really does just kind of go in, especially with the modest nature. And like I was saying, if Roserade is his check to this, then I can click the Flip Turn, expecting that to come in, and go out to my Weavile and just start doing some damage. And even his Urshifu does not appreciate a knockoff from Weavile at all. So yeah, that's pretty much like the main way of dealing with his defensive threats, is to try and kind of pivot out of Keldeo and go into our Weavile and just start spamming knockoff. Next up we have got our Lycanroc, that is our designated lead this week. I think unless we don't see Vikavolt, because Vikavolt is more than likely going to try and set up the webs on the first turn. If it's Sash, then it doesn't really care about my Stone Edge, it'll get the webs up for free anyway. Hence why we're rocking the Rock Blast, no pun intended, this week. Close Combat and Play Rough. This is another Choice Scarfer, by the way. We're in dual Scarfers because he does have quite good speed tiers, and things like the Cinderace and the Durant do not want to take a Stone Edge at all. I don't expect Cinderace to be Choice Scarf. If it is, then it's going to be taking, well, it's potentially taking rocks damage from a few of my rockers on the team. Like, I have good rocks options, and I think he's probably going to want to be Heavy Duty Boots on the Cinderace. It could be wrong, but Heavy Duty Boots seems like the most likely set. Not to mention that his Urshifu is a big problem, and it will outspeed my Lycanroc. And I did look at a potential Rock Polish set, but realistically, I just couldn't get it set up on anything outside of like Vullaby. I think that's it. Like Vullaby and potentially Vikavolt if it's not like Chartyberry. If it is Chartyberry, that's why we've got the Rock Blast, and also if it's Focus Sash, that is also why we have the Rock Blast. It's not a guaranteed kill on a bulky Vikavolt, which seems most likely. Maybe he tries to outspeed things like my Exeggutor with his Vikavolt this week and drop some bulk. But Rock Blast has like a good chance of KOing if I get 4 hits. If it's 3 hits, if it's max bulk, then it doesn't. I think if it has no bulk at all, then it should do. But yeah, Lycanroc also just puts in a lot of work. Close combat, it hits the Mamoswine, Copperaja, it hits the Urshifu with Play Rough, and Stone Edge with pretty much on everything else. Mamoswine doesn't appreciate switching into Stone Edge. Honestly, Urshifu can't switch in on many, so it's kind of just nice to make sure or try and prevent the webs. And I mean, if he Energy Balls us, I think we die, to be honest, but at least we would have got Vikavolt into range in which he can't set up the webs anymore. So if that's what we sack Lycanroc for, that's what we sack Lycanroc for. If we don't see the Vikavolt, then Lycanroc actually can come in later in the game, and if his Copperaja is down, I can kind of just start clicking the Stone Edge button and claiming some kills. So, I mean, Urshifu again, like, it can check that, but I don't think it wants to particularly keep taking it. Next up, we have got our Palisand that is mostly physically defensive, with the Poltergeist, Scorching Sands, Stealth Rock, and Shore Up. I was talking with basically the one person in my front office being Lux. We were talking about bringing Toxic, and we decided it was just a terrible idea on this team because he has 2 Steel types, he has Gardevoir that could potentially be synchronized, he has Roserade, he has Haunter, doesn't hit anything on his team. So we decided to go with Dual Stabs, but Physical for Poltergeist actually will one-shot Gardevoir with no bulk, and Scorching Sands will be really, really spammable in this game. If he doesn't bring Vikavolt, or we get rid of Vikavolt early, if he doesn't bring Vullaby and Haunter, then there's a good chance that Palisand kind of wins here. Not wins, it just does a ton of damage. It does a lot to things like his Gardevoir, his Copperaja, his Cinderace. It can hit Mamoswine for good damage and potentially burn it. Urshifu, same thing. Roserade doesn't appreciate a Poltergeist at all on a switch in. The only thing we've got to be careful of is if we knock off, then we can't use Poltergeist, and I'm bound to forget that at some point in this season. But we'll see. If it's week 1, then I get it out of the way early. This is basically here as my Cinderace check. It also kind of doubles as a reasonable Copperaja check and a pretty good Durant answer as well. Does not appreciate a special threats particularly, but it can take a Moonblast from Gardevoir, and I think with my EVs it can take a Giga Drain from a timid Life Orb Roserade, but that sounds ambitious. I do have some Spadef investment, but I don't think I have that much that I'll be able to live one. If he has Leaf Storm, then we just drop. But we always have a switch in to his Roserade. I believe it's the next one on the list. Yes, it is. Phil the Skarmory, shout out to Brandon, Super Silence 93 for the nickname. It's a female Phil as well. Just going to add that on there. I forgot to put a gender to my Skarmory apparently. With Brave Bird, Body Press, Defog, and Roost. Honestly, Defog was just here for things like the Toxic Spikes or Spikes on Roserade, Sticky Webs. He has a couple of good Rocks users in Copperaja and Mamoswine, but I don't think he particularly wants to use Rocks on either of those mons. He might want the coverage to hit most of my team, so I don't know if he'll be bringing Rocks this week, but I think that there's a chance that he might run, very good chance he runs Sticky Web, and a solid chance to see the Spikes or Toxic Spikes, because I don't have a Poison type, so Toxic Spikes certainly would be a bit of a problem for my team. But for Skarmory, I can kind of bring this in on the Roserade at any time, and if it goes to sleep, it goes to sleep. It's holding the Rocky Helmet, so this is my designated Urshifu switch-in. If he goes for the Surgeon Strikes against my team, which is kind of built very water weak, then he takes half in Rocky Helmet damage from all 3 hits. I believe that's how it works. If for whatever reason the move doesn't take into account Rocky Helmet damage, then I'm kind of screwed and I have misprepped horribly, but we will see. I'm pretty sure it does actually, like Rocky Helmet still hits. I'm fairly sure I've seen like Iron Barbs hit a Urshifu in OU at some point. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But if he does take half, then realistically, even if he's choice banned, he can only just 2-hit KO me with Surgeon Strikes. And if he decides to click it again, he's going to be super low and in range of everything offensive on my team. If he's Choice Scarf with webs, then this can come in, it can click Roost over and over, and there's no way that he can be able to break me. If it's a bulk up set, that's a bit of a problem. But again, I just Brave Bird, and if he goes for the Surgeon Strikes, he actually just drops even at +1 defense, if I remember my calcs correctly. So yeah, Skarmory is something of a check to Urshifu. It's also here for the Mamoswine. I would love to keep it around for the Mamo, but at the same time, if my Skarmory drops, I do have both Keldeo and Lycanroc that can do a ton of damage to it, and will both outspeed even under webs unless he's Choice Scarf. Also another reason why I bought 2 Scarfers is in case he did bring the webs and I wasn't able to get rid of it. Those two have a really strong matchup, so I just wanted to make sure that I was able to outspeed and kill even under webs. Keldeo outspeeds everything barring the Cinderace and the Durant, so that's really nice. And if he brings webs, there's a good chance he brings like Electrable Cinderace or something. If he doesn't bring that, he brings Zen Headbutt. What am I talking about? If he brings Zen Headbutt, I'm pretty sure my Keldeo can live 1 because it's not Libero. And I've got like a secondary switch into Cinderace in my Center Scorch with Fire Lash, Leech Life, Power Whip, and Scald. Scald is very splashable against this team. I didn't want it on Keldeo because I wanted to make sure I was doing as much damage as possible without missing my moves, because Hydro Pump is just not a good time for me. So I'm bringing Surf to make sure I still get the KOs on the things that I should get the KOs on. And my Center Scorch can almost kind of bait in things like his Urshifu, and I can go for like a Fire Lash, lowering his defense. So then if he does go for a bulk up, if he is that kind of set, then my Skarmory comes in and Brave Bird does a ton of damage. Fire Lash, Mamoswine doesn't appreciate that. Cinderace doesn't appreciate a Scald at all. Both Mamoswine and Cinderace take half from Scald, depending on their sets, depending on their EV spreads. I think realistically we're looking about 45 to 50% on Cinderace with Scald, just because I expect him to have some EV investment. Copperaja does not appreciate Fire Lash, I think that goes without saying. Durant just drops because it's a Durant. And then the rest of his team really does not appreciate Fire Lash at all. Vullaby will be able to switch it in, but it will not be able to continue staying in against a Fire Lashing Center Scorch. And I am actually EV to underspeed his Vullaby so I can get a Leech Life off on his Roost, and that should be doing enough at -1 to be able to OHKO it. I'm not entirely sure on the calc, but I am minus Speed Nature just for that reason. Also, there's nothing else realistically that I needed to have any speed in for, unless he's trying to outspeed me with Vikavolt, in which case he's going to be outspeeding me regardless. So yeah, it's especially defensive with heavy duty boots, forgot to mention that. So yeah, that's the team. If I can catch, if I can get rid of Urshifu and Cinderace, I think this game becomes much easier. If I see no Gardevoir, I'm going to be very happy, because realistically, Center Scorch actually is my best answer to his Gardevoir, outside of just coming in and clicking Scarf Stone Edge with Lycanroc. Gardevoir more or less just picks up a kill against my team, and that's terrifying. So I need to make sure that that I deal with his Gardevoir early, depending on what set he is. He could well be Calm Mind, and that is a big problem for my team. But I always go into Center Scorch. That is really my primary switch into his Gardevoir. And yeah, the 6 I'm expecting are definitely Urshifu, Mamoswine, Cinderace, Copperaja, Gardevoir, and Vikavolt. I don't know if I said that at the start of the video. We're playing in like 15 minutes, the nerves have just kind of started to kick in a little bit. So yeah, that's the team, and hopefully we can pick up a win on the first week. It would be great to start off the season with a win. But yeah, I will see you guys in the battle in a minute. Okay, so we're here for the battle. I don't actually know when to start the video for this because like this is the first time I've ever done live comm, so yeah, it should be interesting. I think it's probably about the right time. Okay, so his team is exactly what we were expecting, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good or bad thing. I'm going to lead off with my designated lead. Like I see no reason not to lead off with my Lycan Rock here, so we're just going to go ahead and lead off with that. Looking at his team, I think that Gardevoir is probably Scarfed. I think the Urshifu is most likely banded. Depends really on if you get sticky webs up, Choice Scarf Gardevoir is a big problem for me. But hopefully I can deal with that just between my Skarmory and my Center Scorch. It depends on what he clicks, because I can take a Specs Thunderbolt just fine with my Center Scorch, and obviously I can take it with my Palisand, but yeah, we're just going to go with that. I think that's fine. If he doesn't lead off with his Vikavolt, then this is not the best lead, but it depends on what he really leads with. If I see Cinderace, that would be a fantastic lead for me. But we'll see. We'll see. Good luck to Matt. I say good luck. Have fun. Like I never want to hack a game. I don't care about the whole like not saying good luck to someone just in case it gives them luck. Like, nah, that's bullshit. Fuck that. I really haven't done much customizing my character. He leads off with Mamoswine, that's interesting. As part of me that's really tempted to just click the close combat here. Does close combat kill? That's the question. Let's just get my Lycan Rock. I am jolly to a Mamo. Close combat is not... I imported my sets earlier. Close combat doesn't kill. I'm just going to go into Skarm. I think that's my safest play. We get to scout out what set he is. I don't think he's going to be choice banded. I think banded may be bad in this game, but Life Orb, we'll see. It could be Smackdown knockoff. That's rough. I should have stayed in. In hindsight, I should have stayed in. That's my best way of dealing with Urshifu, but that's absolutely fine. What's he going to? This is where my lack of Wi-Fi knowledge comes in. Pokemon. I don't want his Vikavolt to come in for free. I don't think that he clicks. I mean, do I want to keep this at full? I kind of do, but I think that's also a bad play. I think he's going into Vikavolt. I'm going to make a middle ground play and go into my Center Scorch. Because he may also go into the Cinderace here. He's going to withdraw. Okay, that's cool. And he does go Cinderace. Cool. This is not the end of the world. I think there's not really anything that he can do that's necessarily going to hurt me too much, and I can get a free Scold off here. He doesn't have a particularly great switch into this. So be interested to see what he goes for. I'm just going to click the Scold. I have no reason not to. If he goes into Urshifu, then there's a chance we get the burn, and burn would be really, really nice on it. So he's going for the U-turn. That's kind of expected. That damage is looking like it's probably Boots. And I'm expecting the Urshifu to come out here, but we'll see. He may go back into Mamo. He does go back into Mamo. This is really nice. If I can get the burn, this would be amazing. Throw off a Scold, and that's going to do a good chunk of damage. Do I get a burn? No burn. That's a little rough. I think it's fairly safe for me to go back into Skarmory and click Roost. I know that's a very passive play, but I think he may have the Stone Edge just for me. He may set up the rocks as well. I think just going into Skarmory against this thing is my safest play. He may predict that and go into his Vikavolt, which would kind of suck, but we do move here, so he is clicking a move at least. And he's just going to click the rocks. I could have killed his Mamoswine there, but honestly the Stone Edge was not worth it. I can just defog these away if I wanted to, but honestly the rocks are not that bad. I think I maybe want to get a body press off on something here. What are these rocks really doing to my team? I don't think they're doing a lot. I just want to throw off a body press. He may go for the icicle crash here, just going for damage before he dies, but no, he's going to switch. And he's going back into Cinderace. This should do a little bit of damage. This should be like relatively nice damage for me. And I do kind of get the freest of switches. Yeah, that is very reasonable damage. I'll take that. And I'm just going to double back out straight back into my Cinderace. I could go out into my Palisand, but my Cinderace, my Center Scorch, but I don't want to give him like a free turn with his Vikavolt, because if he sets up webs, that's really problematic for me. If he goes for the Pyro Ball here, then that would be amazing, but he's not. He's going for the Bulk Up. There's nothing that he can do in this situation that I believe will be able to do too much damage to me. I think maybe the best he can do is a Power Herb Bounce if he's got that. But I'm just going to throw off another Scald. I can do around 50% to this Cinderace, so I'll take that damage, and I can knock it out with a Ice Shard later. Like, the rocks kinda suck for my Weavile, but at the same time, Weavile doesn't necessarily need health to be able to do its job, so I'm kind of okay with the rocks being there. I think the main thing is if I do have it roost up with my Skarmory, it's not going to have it sturdy. It's going to go for the Zen Headbutt. Hopefully he doesn't flinch. This shouldn't do too much. It does a good amount, and we do get flinched. That's rough. That is very rough. Yeah, that kind of sucks. The skull damage would have been really, really nice on this. I don't think it's going to be able to do much to my Palisand at all, so let me just tick that. Man, it does not let me do much. I'm going to go into my Palisand. I think swapping into this is my best play. I don't want to sack off my Center Scorch just yet, because it does outspeed his Vikavolt potentially, and I can get Fire Lash off on that. He may predict this and go for a second Bulk Up. That is also kind of fine. He just goes for the Zen Headbutt. This shouldn't do half. No, it doesn't do much at all. And I'm kind of feeling like I want to go for a Poltergeist even here. If I had my sets, that would be amazing. However, Damage Calc said no. So let me do that. Is it back? There we go. Palisand to a Cinderace, so it's offensive pivot. And Poltergeist to do a good amount of damage. I don't think he's going to stay in here. So I'm just going to click the Poltergeist and see what he wants to go into. So he does go for the U-turn, that's absolutely fine. That's going to do such negligible damage. And hopefully he goes into something like the Urshifu here, because my Skarmories are still at a decent amount of health and will be able to take one. And if I can hit a Poltergeist, that would be amazing. He actually goes into the Vikavolt. I mean, you might get his webs up here. He's Heavy Duty Boots. This is going to do very little damage. That's very unfortunate. I could get my rocks up here, but I do need my Cinderace. I do need this around for my Cinderace. He is like boots on everything, so I don't think rocks is necessarily the best play. If he goes for a move, it's most likely going to be a grass type move, so I'm quite happy going into my Center Scorch, and if I sack it off here, I sack it off, but he doesn't switch in particularly well to it, and even if he switches into his Cinderace on this, then that is fine as well. Depends if it outspeeds me. If it outspeeds, then it outspeeds. Like, if he predicted that and goes for a Volt Switch, as he does, that's a good play. I should actually live this, but I'm not going to be able to live anything from what he wants to bring in. So, unfortunate, I should have potentially just stayed in and gone for Poltergeist again, but we saw how much damage that did. That was kind of pathetic, really. So, yeah, I saw no reason to stay in and predict that. So he actually goes out into his Urshifu. I'm not going to mess around. I'm just going for a Power Whip on this. I could switch into my Skarmory, but I don't want him to set up at all. And if he's just going to kill me here, he just kills me here. Like, that is absolutely fine. He goes for a U-turn. I may live this. I don't. That's unfortunate. Potentially he's Scarfed then. I'm not sure actually. Can I get any information from that? Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Choice Bandit, U-Turn. Like, I was at a very low amount of health. Yeah, I don't think I'd even need it to be choice. So like 16. I was at 8%, so yeah, he didn't need to be choiced in any way. But potentially he's choice Scarf. We'll see what he goes into though. He goes into his Gardevoir. This thing's a big threat. I think I just want to go in into my Lycanroc and throw off a big Stone Edge and hopefully put it in range. He may go into his Copperaja. That's kind of okay. I have my ways of checking it, and he does have to make a decision between Heat Crash and Power Whip. I think he might go for the Power Whip, but we'll see. I'm just going to throw off a Stone Edge regardless. I think it is my best play. So it traces my no guard. That's absolutely fine. I don't think in any world I actually Oko this thing, but certainly getting that Stone Edge damage off would be big. He may also go into Copperaja, which like I said, that's the case. I think, depending on his set, I should be able to live with Skarmory, but Skarmory is getting quite worn down at this point. So I may want to go into Palisand instead. He is going to withdraw. Maybe could have predicted that, but he just makes a middle ground play and goes into his Mamoswine. This should drop to a Stone Edge. Yeah, as it does. So Lycanroc picks up our first kill of the season. I expect the Copperaja to come out now. If he's going to bring it out, maybe the Urshifu. If the Urshifu is Scarfed, I think this is when he brings it out. And honestly, I think I might... If he's choice Scarf, I absolutely live 2 Surging Strikes with my Skarmory. And yeah, he is going to go out into his Urshifu, and I'm going to go straight out into my Skarmory. If he wants to make any kind of prediction, that's fine. He may go into his Cinderace, but I know I can switch into my Palisand, and I can actually shore up if he goes into Cinderace. So it just kind of put me in a bad position. If he goes for U-turn here, that's not ideal. As he goes for the Surging Strikes, we'll see how much this does and whether or not this is banded. That's a really, really cool animation. I've not actually seen that. That's hard to tell. I think that's not banded. But this is all I needed this for. I can go out into my my Keldeo after, and I could click... I think Aura Sphere is my middle ground play. I could click Air Slash and see what he wants to go into. But I think sacking Skarmory is really my only play here, and it's unfortunate because it does mean that there's a chance that late game I am not going to be able to clear hazards, but at this point, like, I die to rocks. So potentially keeping this thing healthier would have been the play. I'm pretty sure that's not banded though. I don't remember what health I was at. God, that I suck at. Let's have a look at this. I could go for the Play Rough with my Lycanroc, but I don't think that's the play. I think I've got to go into my Keldeo here. And Air Slash hits quite a lot of his team. I could also go for the Surf, but if he isn't choice locked, then that sucks. I could also go for the Flip Turn, expecting him to switch and try and gain some initiative, because I am behind at the moment on that. But if he doesn't switch, I am just sacking something. And what is... I mean, I don't want to sack anything really at this point. The Air Slash seems very, very obvious. Do I want to go for Air Slash here? This thing's a threat. But... man, I don't know. I'm going to go for a Flip Turn. I think he switches here. Yeah, he does. Okay, we made the right play. As he goes out into Vikavolt, that is absolutely fine with me, because he's going to take some flip turn damage. And then it looks to be fairly physically defensive. Do I want to just click knock here? Let's have a quick look. Keldeo against Vikavolt. That flip turn, yeah, did about that damage. I think maybe he's... So if I was to go Weavile, like surely Choice Band knockoff should kill from here. And I get to knock off something on his team. And if he goes into Urshifu, at least we can then see what item he's got. I think this is definitely my play. Like, this is saying 70 to 83 if he's max HP. Yeah, I definitely think this is my best play, because at least it's knocking off an item if he does go Urshifu. And it should do a solid chunk as well to it. At the same time, he may just want to sack this Vikavolt, which would be perfect for me. Because that means that he won't get the web, so my 2 choice scarfers remain choice scarfed. And also it means that my Weavile outspeeds his whole team outside of anything that's boosted. However, I am now severely lacking a switch into Urshifu. And may actually have to just switch in my Keldeo, which would suck. It's either that or I pick my sack and I start playing aggressively with Palossand, but I really want to keep Palossand around flat. Copperajah. Saying that, I don't know for sure whether or not he's going to be speedier on that Copperajah. So he actually goes out into his Gardevoir. This tells me that he's Choice Scarf. This 100% screams Choice Scarf to me, so I think his Urshifu may potentially have been banded. But this certainly gives me like no switch-ins at all. Has Weavile done its job? I would say at this point it has. I think my way of winning here is gonna be my Scarfers. I think this is rough. I think I'm in a rough position. Like having Center Scorch hit that Scald would have been huge for me. But it is what it is. He may be bluffing the Scarf, and if he is, then that's a good play. I think Weavile has done its job at this point. Realistically, I don't think he has any reason. Oh, that's very good damage. He wasn't scarfed, so he might actually be scarfed Urshifu. I'll certainly take that on the Gardevoir. I'm not sure if this puts it into a position where I can actually... Can I kill with Flip Turn? Let's have a look. Gardevoir. He was lefty, so it may have been a defensive set. Yeah, looking at that, he looks to have had a lot of HP. Potentially some defense investment, so I don't think Keldeo actually can take it out with a Flip Turn. I mean, it certainly can do. I think that is arguably my play. It's either that or I can throw off a Surf, but that does mean then I've got to throw away my... I could also Air Slash. I think I Flip Turn and go into my... Yeah, no, it should die. It should absolutely die to this Flip Turn. And I go out into my Lycanroc because that covers every potential switch he could have. Yeah, it does drop. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think I go into my Lycanroc because I can close combat the what's it called? The Copperajah. I can play rough the Urshifu, and I can Stone Edge the Cinderace. Be interested to see what it goes into. Possibly the Copperajah. He may also go into the Urshifu. But that's our chance then, I think, to be able to see whether or not he is scarfed. Because I need to keep my Palossand around. I think it is my way to victory at this point. He has nothing to switch into a Scorching Sands. But I also cannot take, certainly cannot take a Surging Strikes from Urshifu, so it's not worth me bringing it in now. I think this is the best way of me putting on pressure, and I think he probably goes into Urshifu, in which case I click the play rough button. If he outspeeds, he is scarfed. If we get this damage off, that is really nice, because it then means that I can just click Aura Sphere over and over and over. And I think Aura Sphere would potentially be able to clean up the game. So I'm just going to click play rough, and he may well be choice scarfed. I'm going to find out. He isn't choice scarfed. We do hit the play rough. That does good damage. That is very good damage. I am very happy with that. Can Keldeo now just click? Can Keldeo just click the Aura Sphere button? How much did that Lycanroc Midnight play rough? It did on the lower end of that. I think he may have some bulk, but I think Keldeo should just be able to spam the Aura Sphere now. I think that's my play, because he's potentially locked into Surging Strikes anyway, so he's got to make a switch. We'll see. That was at like 60%. Aura Sphere is a roll on that Cinderace, and not a good one at that. But Aura Sphere is 100% my play here. He's going to sack this. This may actually allow my Palossand to win. Yeah. We'll see what he goes into. If he goes into Copperaja, I think there's a good chance that it may be potentially the Fight and Resist berry. My brain is struggling to comprehend what it is. If he's for death, actually, he lives one. I think, actually, he lives one regardless. So he actually goes Cinderace. Okay, I think this is at far too high a health for me to realistically be able to take one. But do I want to just get that damage off? And then go into... Do I want to switch in Palossand hard? I don't think I do. Because I think Palossand potentially is my way of winning this game. So Palossand shouldn't take too much, but it depends on what his set is. I think I just go for the Aura Sphere here. Yeah, I go for the Aura Sphere. I think this is my play. Because we've seen that he's bulk up. I'm just going to get the damage off, and then I'm going to go into my Palossand, and... Oh no, we kill. Oh shit, we kill. This may come down to whether or not its Copperaja is Life Orb or not, I think. There's a good chance this comes down to whether or not its Copperaja is Life Orb. I did not expect that to kill. The calc does not say it kills. I'm actually kind of shocked. Maybe he ran Adamant. I'm just going to click Aura Sphere, but I have no other play. And then I need to go into my Palossand and click Scorching Sands afterwards. If this Copperaja lives, which I do believe it will. Like, it absolutely should live one. I think he misplayed. Potentially just sacking off his... sacking off his Cinderace. Yeah, it does live one. So he goes for the play rough. That is going to knock us out. But we don't see a Life Orb, I believe. So I think this comes down to potentially whether or not my speed creep on this was worth it. I may regret having a minus nature, because he may... Well, to be fair, he may have tried to outspeed this anyway. So this literally just comes down to whether or not Power Whip kills, I think. I think it literally just comes down to whether or not Power Whip kills / hits. Heavy Slam may do more. Never mind, we outspeed. Okay, so man, that was a tense battle. I've not live commed, but actually I quite like the explain my thought process out loud. Good game to Matt. That was actually a really fun game. That was a very tense one. Glad we started off the season with a win. Like, that is big. Obviously starting off the season with a win is going to be good, but that was a tough one. The matchup was kind of rough, I think, for both of us. I think our water fightings really kind of did so much damage to each other. And yeah, Oh, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm not used to live coming, so this ending is going to be atrocious. But if you liked what you saw today, please do leave a like on the video. Make sure to go and check out Matt. He's a really great battler, great content creator, and just all around great guy as well. So make sure to go and check him out. And yeah, subscribe if you enjoy what you saw today, I guess. But I don't know why you would. We start 1-0 +1. It's not like the biggest differential, but that was never going to be a big differential game. So I'll take the win. Keldeo did so much work. The modest Aura Sphere just did so much damage. And yeah, I've lost my train of thought. So until the next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.